Bam! Hello.
How's it going?
It's going great, Coach. How are you doing?
Doing a lot better after this weekend, that's for sure.
Is that before we start talking about what is it?
Yeah.
You work with the team. You've got great athletes. They have the discipline. That what is it? Is it the pressure of a tournament like the Governor's Cup that makes you so nervous, different than other games?
Yeah, I think too, just with the expectations of it as well, you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward for it. And obviously, we know how much it means just our campus and community, and winning it 9 straight years. You don't want to be the team that stops the streak, and so there's a lot of pressure with that too. And definitely a sense of relief after you win it, and a lot of a lot of joy too. It's a big thing to be able to bring back to Fairbanks.
Is it unfair for the community to put that pressure on you? I mean, it's just a game. It's just a game. But is there this pride? Is that a fair thing for a community to put on an athletics team?
I think so. I mean, anything we do, it doesn't matter if we're playing, winks, or we're playing chess, or, checker. It doesn't matter. Like Anchorage versus Fairbanks, there's always a little bit of extra something. And, for both of these, for hockey, to me, it's a big part of both communities. And so to be the best in the state, I think, is a very important thing. And I'm glad that people care so much and are so passionate about it. I think it makes a rivalry even more exciting.
You're absolutely right. The rivalry does feed into the excitement, and then there's a big sense of pride for the University of Alaska Fairbanks to say it's been 10 times this tournament has been played, and each and every time for the past 10 years, the trophy has come back to Fairbanks. That our athletic team does what they need to do to bring the trophy home. Do you have a rallying cry you give to the hockey players before you go out on the ice for the first time? Do you practice? Do you watch some of the famous sports movies? I'm going to say that this time. I'm going to steal that line.
No, you know what? I think a lot of that stuff. I think the motivation. Our guys are pretty self-motivated individuals, and they know too. I mean, it's one of those weeks where you're leading up to it, where all of a sudden people that you haven't really talked to, your administration, things like that, people on campus in the community, all of a sudden you're in Wells Fargo Bank and someone comes up and says, hey, make sure you bring back the Governor's Cup. And it's Fred Meyers, you're in the grocery store. It's the same thing, right? This one just means a little bit more, and the guys know that. And so there's not a whole lot to be able to say before the games. You talk about some tactical things, some things that we want to focus on against their team. And but otherwise, the guys know how important it is, and the guys want to bring the trophy back to campus.
Hockey happens so fast. I mean, they are on ice skates, and ice is almost frictionless surface. How do you, as a coach, make sure that they're doing the plays and the patterns that you've worked out in practice? Do you have like a sixth sense of where the player is going next? How do you do that?
It's a lot of repetition, and it's a lot of work by our staff. Our staff does a great job. Carlos Zernis, who's one of our assistant coaches, and Joe Howe is the other assistant coach. They do a really nice job with getting the guys prepared and working on a lot of those tactical things. And we do a lot of video with the guys, so they're able to see themselves onto the ice and the positioning and where they need to be. And a lot of these guys have put in so much work. They spend summers, working on their craft, working on their art, and becoming better hockey players. And they're very self-driven, like we talked about before with the series. I mean, they're self-driven. They want to be the best that they can be. They want to continue to be playing after they're done at UAF, at some sort of pro hockey as well. And so every day they're trying to get better. So for us, it's more of, guiding them and some little tips and tricks here and there, but a lot of it is just on them and how bad that they want to be successful.
It's an interesting thing that makes me think of is since they are, the top of their game right now, players, how much does a coach have to do, or do they coach themselves? What is your role as a coach for a team that's working so well together?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. I mean, there's a lot of things just, on individual skill development. And like I said, our staff does a really nice job in developing the pieces, working with, the individual position groups, whether it's goaltenders, defensemen, forwards, and some of the specialized tactics that they need to play those different types of positions. And, for us too, it's a lot of, team structure. So how we want to move as a group of 5 on the ice and making sure that there's some predictability on positionally where we're going to be. So we do that. But you know what, like you said, a lot of it too is it's a lot of psychology. I mean, it's how competitive you're going to be. It's how are you going to buy into our group structure and how we want to play as a team. So a lot of it is on the in the mental side of it, where you're trying to make sure that guys are working hard every single day. Guys are bringing their best and achieving a level that maybe they didn't even think was possible.
I'm assuming that when you're operating at this level, like the thing that you mentioned was having your mind prepared as
Yeah.
much as your body is
Yeah.
prepared. What is that like for an athlete? How do you keep on that edge all the time?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it's just in the preparation and how you prepare yourself. We talk about it. It's the deposits in the bank. Like, are you going to have a good day of practice? So you put another deposit in the bank, and on game time you're going to be withdrawn from that. So it's a lot of preparation each and every day, and then individually everyone does a little bit of something different. But I think more and more you see sports psychologists and sports psychology being a part of it. We have someone that we're fortunate enough that is able to work with our team, and someone that works on campus with our guys individually and did some things as a team and really helps in that preparation. Like, what's my countdown going to be? What am I going to do to be able to review myself each and every day to really make sure that I'm becoming the best athlete I can be and I have the best focus for practices and games that I can have. So it's really becoming a specialized field in our sport, and it's been like that in many sports now with that psychology piece that's to it. It's very intertwined now with hockey.
Now, of course, a college team is a balance of it's a student and an athlete.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about maintaining that balance and working with the team to make sure that the academics have a balance with the performance they have to do to keep that Governor's Cup here in Fairbanks.
No, absolutely. You know what? It's a big piece of it, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in. Our cumulative GPA the first semester it's a 3.2. So the guys are working extremely hard to make sure that they're doing what they need to do in the classroom. And we talk about it a lot. It's communication with the professors. It's making sure that you're talking to them and alerting them of their schedule. It's making sure that you're attending all the time in classes, and it's putting forth the same effort that you would on the ice rink as it is in the classroom. And for a lot of our guys, they understand that there's life after hockey, and what they're going to be doing postgraduate isn't necessarily playing in the National Hockey League for 10 years. It's going to be being a professional in the workplace and being a good husband, being a good father, a lot of important things that are outside of hockey. So our guys have a really good head on their shoulders. They do a good job of balancing. Some of the road trips do get pretty tough for them, and we do set aside study hall. But again, it's a lot of self-motivation. These guys they put in a lot of time. They spend a lot of time in the community with different youth hockey events and different events around food bank and things like that. I mean, they do a great job of connecting in the community, in the classroom, and then why the majority of them are here too is on the ice rink.
So the community, which you were just talking about, and the community working with the Nanoks hockey team, that is this really, really tight relationship. And one of the people, the groups that I know work so hard are the boosters.
Yeah.
Nanok boosters. Talk a little about the importance of fans, of community support like that, of hearing those cheers in the arena when you're playing.
Well, it's fantastic. I know the guys feed off of the energy. I mean, just talking about at the Carlson Center, the guys really feed off of that energy. And you know the difference when it's a very crowded Carlson Center compared to a little bit more of an empty one, and the guys understand and can feed off that energy when they're rocking and when they're bringing a lot of noise and excitement to the building. And talking about the support group, I mean, just on campus with our administration has been fantastic, and then you go off of campus and you see with our boosters, the face-off club and the alumni group, and how important that they've played, and a lot of things. I mean, there's obviously a financial component that there's provided, but there's just the support. There's just the different events that they do and reaching out and allowing our guys to be able to connect with different groups in the community. It's great. And And then you just talk about the greater Fairbanks. I mean, we really feel like we're a representative of Fairbanks every time that we play other universities, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to compete against the big Division I schools. And we take a lot of pride in that. We take a lot of pride in the people that have supported us, and make sure that we're doing our best to represent Fairbanks and the Nano community.
When you look at the faces of some of the young hockey players that come to like skate with the Nanooks, and
Yeah.
see them looking up to these young men that are just getting started in their lives, what is the responsibility for you as a coach to let them know that they are role models for young members of Fairbanks?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big piece of it. It's giving back. I mean, the game's given these guys so much, and they need to be able to give back to the next generation. And in Fairbanks, some of the unique aspects of it is you are under a microscope, and people know who you are when you're walking in the stores, when you're here and there around town. People know who you are, and you got to be able to represent yourself as a professional, and you got to be able to represent the community and as a role model. And that's an important piece. It's a part of their transition from when they come in into the program and when they leave. And we want to make them better people. That's one of our biggest missions, and we feel like our guys do a good job of being ambassadors to not only just young hockey players, but the people around town, the youth around town. And we know it's a big responsibility and something that we take a lot of pride in. So
this Governor's Cup, there's 4 games for this year, 2 in Fairbanks and 2 in Anchorage. You split the games in Fairbanks, so you went down to Anchorage with a little more pressure on you. What was that like for you? Did you get sleepless nights, or you're like, I got this, no problem?
Yeah, I would say a lot more sleepless nights. I'm sure if you talk to any coach, there's not going to be a lot of them that are just sleeping really good on any sort of game night. And then when you amplify it with the Governor's Cup, there's you're definitely feeling it. You're definitely not getting your 8 hours in every night. And I you know what, it's nice. We came down. I thought we played a really good game on Friday, 4-0, and the guys played one of their best team games, I thought, of the year. And just we're in control of the game, felt in control of that whole game. Then the next night, we had to face a little bit of adversity. We got down 1-0, and all of a sudden you're looking up. There's 15 minutes left in the third period, and you're a little bit obviously guys start gripping their sticks a little bit tighter, and you're getting a little bit more worried. We know. We don't want to go into that shootout. If it gets tied 2-2, you end up having that shootout to decide the Governor's Cup. So, the guys understood it, and we got a couple of big time plays by a couple of big time players, and able to come out on top. And I think the tightness, how close it was, I think that makes the victory even more more sweeter. And knowing the work that you put in and the effort that you put forth was rewarded.
Did you take a little personal time with the Governor's Cup yourself, just to sit back and look at it with a bottle of water and just be like, I did it. I did it.
You know what? My girlfriend and my 9-month-old daughter came down during it and celebrated it with me. So I got a picture with little baby Adeline in the cup, and we got a family shot. So that was my time. I mean, the family supports you quite a bit, and they understand a lot of long nights at the office and things like that. And it's nice to be able to celebrate something with them. And it was a wonderful moment for me personally, just to be able to have that time with the cup and with my family as well.
Thank you so much, Coach, for taking a few minutes. I know you got a lot. You're planning the next season already, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we're leaving tonight. So, we got playoffs. So we're actually heading out here we leave the Patty Center at 5:45.